Another day where Joe leaves me stranded without a video. Well, he forced my hand. What you're about to see is a video from another one of our dead channels, so I hope you enjoy.
Today we're going to talk about what it takes to create an OC. What is up, everybody, and welcome to our brand new video. As mentioned before, we are going to talk about making a brand new original character and what goes into that. Now, obviously this depends on who the person making it is. I can't tell you how to make your own created character, but I thought it'd be fun that I throw a speed art of me drawing a character that I made for me and a character representing my friend Steven, who helps me run this channel. That was tough for some reason. And as I'm showing you guys this art process, I thought I would talk about the many trials and tribulations of creating a character, because as someone who does that for a living pretty much, it can get tough and it is sometimes hard to know what direction to go. So first off, what I want to talk about is when you're coming up with a character, I think the main thing that you have to figure out is intent. A lot of people go into making created characters. Even some people who draw for a living will create an OC by complete accident. They'll just kind of be sketching something and they'll be like, okay, well, this is my character now. I'm sometimes, someone that does that as well, but being able to tell the difference between intent of a character or just randomly drawing a character can really change the way that character can be viewed. And the reason I say that is, take for instance my webtoon. I bring it up every single video because I want people to read it. But bring up my webtoon Playground. When I was designing those kids, I went through a lot of different iterations. I'll put some up on the screen, or Steven will put some up on the screen right now, so that you can kind of see the process of whether I was changing the art style or the clothing, pretty much anything. And the reason why if you see anybody talk about creating a character, there's so many iterations, isn't because they have a tough time coming up with a cool character design. A lot of the times the first design you come up with can be cool, but just because it looks good and it's cool doesn't mean that that's the one you go with. And the reason I say that is going back to the intent point that I said before. When you're making a character, knowing the intent of what that character has to be, what that character represents, is very important. If you are doing something for marketing, for instance, you want a nice, simple, sleek design, something that will grab someone's eye. That's why if you look at anime or pretty much any popular franchise that's for kids, they'll usually add a character that fits that description. Pokemon has something like Pikachu, and Digimon has Agumon. I'm not going to go through all the monster things, but they're a good example because they have this outlet to kind of make cute and that, those types of creatures are what the show runs off of, so it's easier for them. But take something like me and my series, as I mentioned before, I had to design two versions of these characters. A version of them as children and the version that they see in their imagination. Now, the reason why this is tough is because I have to get the point across that they're kids, but also have a design that transfers over well to their imagination. And being able to do that sounds simple because you just draw clothes that look cool. But again, a lot of the times you have to imagine these are things that the kids actually have to be wearing. So with that intent in mind, it allows me to go through different iterations and eventually stumble across something that I probably like. Now, are you going to need to do all of this for every OC you create? No. Sometimes people just want to make OCs for fun, and if that's the case, you don't really need to follow these steps. Just do what you got to do. But this is mainly for the people that want to create original characters and really want to know what it goes into, making character designs. And again, that's kind of what I do. I do character designs. So when someone commissions me, they'll usually give me an idea, maybe a little bit of a backstory. Some will give me kind of, more details that could lead into more character traits. But a lot of the time I have to come up with how they look exactly. And to do that, it's a lot harder if I don't have intent behind them, which is why a lot of the times when I do commissions, I'll even ask the people that are commissioning me, tell me something about the backstory of the character or kind of the world they're from. And I feel that helps a lot. So again, rule number one of creating a character, have intent. Know what that character exists for, know the world that character's in, really understand that. And that will actually help build other characters around them as well. Number two, This is kind of self-explanatory, but you want the character design to be pleasing. And that could just mean to you, because obviously art is subjective, and a lot of the times not everyone will like what you're doing. But what I mean by find how they look and make it, look good, is I want you to look at the art that you enjoy, and you can even master study some artists that you like. And the point of that is you want to grab certain aspects of other people's art. Obviously you don't steal it. That's not the best idea, especially not if you get caught. But you want to grab things that are visually pleasing to you and kind of incorporate it into your work. Find ways to, like if you like how one artist draws eyes, maybe practice those eyes to kind of get an understanding of what it is about that art that you like. And eventually you'll kind of Frankenstein everything into your own style. Now, having a talk about art style is a whole nother video, and I'll probably get to that at some point. But this is important because depending on your OC and the world that they come from, the world that you build or the backstory that you build for them, the art style has to reflect that. I draw a comic that has to do about fun and kids, and it's more of a shonen type, so the art style had to reflect all of that. And you may think that it's just, oh, well, that's the way I draw, but it's actually not. When I get commissioned, I rarely get asked to draw in that style. It's usually more of a realistic, / anime style. But for the series, my actual drawing style wouldn't have worked. So I had to develop kind of this weird mesh of kind of cartoony, kind of anime. And that's how I stumbled across it. So knowing the art style and making sure that it's pleasing to you, because again, you're the one that's drawing it, but also reflecting the character and story will be a very important step and something that you should probably really keep in mind when designing it. So again, first step, you want to draw something with intent. Second step, you want it to be pleasing, and you also want to be able to enjoy it. And the third and final step, in my opinion, is to just draw characters that you can have fun with. A lot of the times when I design these characters, it's because I let my mind drift. Again, there is still intent with it, but I just kind of put pen to paper, or Apple Pencil to iPad, I guess, and I just go with it. I just draw the things I want to draw. And from those random, disgusting drawings that never see the light of day, come the characters that I do eventually enjoy. A lot of the times people think that the character they design isn't going to change. They're just going to keep that same character. So if they don't draw it and they don't like it right then and there, it's not going to be a character that they keep. A lot of the OCs I have, that sounds so gross and like Tumblr-y, but a lot of the OCs I have are OCs I had as kids that eventually I developed into characters that were able to see the light of day, that the world wanted to see. When I was little, all my characters had angel wings and devil wings and one red eye and a big sword. I don't know. That's all of them had Goku pants. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like, you give them those really baggy pants. Disgusting. Don't do that. If you're doing that, don't do that. Change that up now. But the point I'm trying to make is, don't just drop something because your art style doesn't seem to make it look good. Again, you're creating characters, and having an interesting character doesn't really reflect how it looks then and there. That's why I want you to know that a lot of the times it takes development. You gotta have the intent, make it look good, but also you can't just not draw them. Don't keep them in your head. This is like the number one thing that artists do, is they'll come up with an OC, and that OC will never see what it looks like because you never draw it. Don't ever make your inability to draw it stop you from doing so. A lot of the times the characters I've drawn look like trash, but I just put them on the back burner until eventually I can do them justice. And to do them justice, I did the following steps that I mentioned before. I found the intent, the reason for them to exist. I found the style, the way they're going to look when they do exist. And then they kind of took form and became characters that people kind of like, and that's the biggest honor. And that's kind of the biggest takeaway of creating characters, is when you finally find the way a character looks and you put them out in the world and someone says, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, that speaks for itself. That's the reason we do it. So in summary, I gotta stop saying that, but it's just the easiest word I have to grasp from. In summary, you want to make sure that a character has intent behind it, so a reason to exist and a backstory and really, figure out who this character is. So that way you can move on to the next step in finding a nice, appealing style, something that you and other people can like. And then the third step, again, just no matter what you do, you have to make sure that you're having fun and you're making a character that you want to make. Even if it's for something you don't want to be doing, always find some reason to have fun with that character. Like right now, you're seeing me draw me and Steven. I don't like either of us, but I had to do it. And you best believe I had some fun doing it. I'm kidding, Steven. I like you.
I like you too, man.
God. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions about making original characters, let me know. Probably should have mentioned that OC stands for original characters earlier on. Some people are probably confused by now. But if you're watching this, you probably know what it is. But anyway, leave a comment on any other topic you kind of want me to rant on. This is some type of video that we're going to be doing sometimes in between series or other speed draws. So if you guys have a topic that you want me to kind of just go off on unscripted, you can put that in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and you can spend the rest of the time watching the speed art if it's not done already. Might be done. It's kind of a long video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you all, and see you next time.